Hello and welcome to the training video for our neonatal team on maternity Badgernet. My name is Alana. I'm one of the midwives working on the project here at University Hospitals Sussex, and I'm going to give you a tour of the areas that you will need for your roles. So the page we're looking at now is our login page, which is very similar to Neonatal Badgernet. You are able to switch between the neonatal system and the maternity system quite easily by clicking on this button here. So when we know who we're searching for, so if we're obviously doing anything antenatally, we'll search with the mother or parent's details. So in this case, I have searched for someone called Jane, and therefore this person has come up. We can search with names, hospital numbers, NHS numbers, date of births. So I've obviously got this person. If you want to look for a baby, you can obviously also click on baby lists and search for the baby that way, if that person has already delivered. In all cases, mums and babies are linked. They should be. So if you select a mother's record, it will open a baby's record. If you open a baby's record, it will open a mother's record. So we have the two linked together. So I have selected this person, and we have opened up into our record. So we can see we've got a patient tab here, but we can go back to our women list if we need to see someone else. So at the very top, we have patient identifiers. We then have some of this person's demographics, and then we have the key pregnancy information that you might need. So at the moment, we can see this person is 26 plus 2 weeks gestation, and they're only expecting one baby. So the first page that will initially open is the person's pregnancy summary. So we have information on their previous obstetric history, any health history noticed at booking, what their current carer plan is, and a link to scan results. So these will not be the scans that we see on Panda. These will just be something that has been entered in by sonographers for a form. So if I click on this ultrasound scan, it will open up that report. So I've just done a very basic one here, but there would be more information in here if it was filled in properly. On our right hand side, we can see it has picked out specific risk factors for this person. So we can see they're rhesus negative, they're a smoker, and they have anxiety. You can also see obviously their low risk VTE and their risk of preeclampsia and fetal growth restriction level are viewable here. There is this person's management plan. So this is self-generated most of the time according to their risk factors, although it may be different and people can update it as they go. There's also information on saving babies' lives and the different things that we can do to reduce our mortality rate, so it will pick out things from here as well. If we had a fetal medicine plan in place, this would be viewable here, and any social issues as well. And obviously there are a few more things at the bottom. At the very bottom, you will see that there are a place for scan documents. So if anything has been uploaded from somewhere like King's or any clinic appointments, these will be accessible via here. So when you are conducting an antenatal clinic and you need to enter a note in about this person as you are seeing them in clinic, we will go into notes during pregnancy. So we can see obviously this person has had a few attendances potentially, or it might be that those forms have been filled in on those certain days. So we can see on the 19th of February, someone entered lots of different information. So if we need to go in and see what has previously been said, we can click on any of the arrows which will expand the forms, and we have that viewable there. We can also click into the record to add any more information if we needed to. In this case, obviously, you're mainly going to be using it from a viewing point of view to check how things are progressing. You can also use the full notes function if you want to search for something particular and you don't want to go through on a day-by-day basis in notes during pregnancy. You will have the option to specify that you just want to see all of the blood test results and action forms here. You can pick out which one you need and you have that viewable there. You also, obviously, if you've got a big long list, if you know the date, you can go in that way, and we have other forms viewable there as well. You can also filter down to ones that have been entered at PRH and ones that have been entered at the RSCH. So going back to notes during pregnancy, this would have all of the person's clinic appointments on here. It would all be listed so you can see when they're next due to be in as well. So for the purposes of your role, you will need to be able to add in something called a specialist review. So occasionally these are viewable in this plus button. So if we scroll down, we can see in this case that is not viewable on there. If we click into the date, sometimes in new note it will be in there, but it doesn't have everything. So if we need to find something specific, the best thing to do is to go into the section that says enter new note. So if you're doing it on an iPad, you will see it says search in record. So in this case, we're going to do something called a specialist review. So I've just started typing and it's appeared here. So obviously when the person has delivered, there will also be a specialist review for baby. But at this moment, there is just one for the woman or parent. So if we click into here, we obviously have this viewable here. So the date and time will show you as the date and time that you opened the form. You can adjust this accordingly if you're entering it retrospectively. So our specialist type, we've got a long list here, but we can see note if they are not on the list, what we can do is we can put other and we can put neonatal review or neonatal is fine as well. So conducted by, who is conducting it? So you can either click in the space like I just did and fill in the name, similar to Neonatal Badgernet, or we can use current user. Obviously, there's the option to lock from changes. So if you are doing it as you go, I would say no, because then you can go back in and edit what you've previously put. The system also tracks our changes, so no one can change anything without us knowing about it. So type of user, obviously we'd potentially be saying doctor, and our type of assessment obviously is what is applicable. Our location as well. For example, I'll say we're in antenatal clinic. So by saying history and background noted, that's saying that you have reviewed all of the information that is viewable on the pregnancy summary. You do also have some details that are down on this side view, so you can scroll through and see anything on the page there and then. But it's very minimal, so we can put yes. And obviously if we have any additional comments, anything we want to pick out, we can put that in there. So we then have obviously space for you to do a review of the situation. If you do an examination, you can fill it in there. And again, your discussion afterwards. You do not have to fill in all of the areas. You can fill in what is appropriate to your situation. You can obviously say what date the conversation happened, but in most cases it will be there and then if it's face to face. We can say where the conversation took place. So in this case, we'll say in person. This section here where it says publish to Mat Notes. So this means, do we want to publish it to the person's app? Not everyone will have app access. it's obviously on a personal choice or what they have available to them. If they are using the MatNotes app, I believe it will soon be called Badgernet app, you are able to publish what you have put here onto their phone, onto their record that they are able to view. Sometimes that's not appropriate, but sometimes obviously we might want to see, the women or person might want to see what has been said at the previous appointment. So therefore we can do, yes, we want to publish to MatNotes. When we do want to publish it to the app, we have to authorise it. So it's just obviously making sure that we know that that's what we're doing. So we click authorise and we enter our username and password. So there's also links to care plans, antenatal care plans, if there's anything you need to add yourselves. But obviously, as things are entered, we can see that as well. So I'm going to write test, and then I can show you whether that is viewable. Oh, so I've obviously left that I've ticked publish to MatNotes, so I'm going to put no. It will not let you go further if you said that you are going to publish it without signing it off. So we press save. We can now obviously go into our notes from today, so the 22nd of April, and we have our specialist review viewable here. If you click on the title, it should expand it. If it ever freezes like this, I recommend just clicking back on the title again and going back in, which it does occasionally. So we can click in there and we can see obviously what was said at that appointment.